After eating nearly 600 pints with my original Ninja Creami, and giving the new Creami Swirl a thorough week-long stress test, I've decided to put it up for sale. In this video, we'll dive into 7 eye-opening reasons why you might want to think twice before investing in the Creami Swirl. Let's get into it. How many empty rooms do you have in your house right now, just waiting to be filled up? If you're anything like me, you probably have the opposite problem: never enough space and way too much shit. And nowhere is this more obvious than in the kitchen. Counter space is prime real estate. You've got your multi-cooker, coffee machine, air fryer, and a stand mixer all battling for a spot on the counter. Even though I'm fortunate enough to have a pretty spacious kitchen, my air fryer still lives tucked away in a cabinet. My original Ninja Creami, it fits neatly in the corner, tucked discreetly next to my bulky KitchenAid. It's only about 6.5 inches wide and blends right in. But the new Swirl, yeah, no. This thing isn't just bigger, it's massive. At a whopping 14 inches wide, including the handle, it's more than double the size of the original. To put that into perspective, it's even wider than my stand mixer, which is already a kitchen counter giant at 10 inches wide. And height-wise, the Swirl stands 17.5 inches tall, about 1.5 inches taller than the OG Creami, which was already pushing it at 16 inches. Don't get me wrong, I love soft serve as much as the next person, but I'm not giving up half my counter space for a cone every now and then. If there's one thing I've learned over the last 34 years, it's that buying the very first production run of a new product is almost always a mistake. Think about it. How many times have excited customers lined up for the latest iPhone only to find battery issues, overheating, or screens that break like glass? Or how often does a brand new car model hit the market only to spend its first year plagued with mechanical recalls or technical headaches? The reality is, the first release of any product is essentially a large-scale test run. Sure, Ninja offers a warranty, but who wants to spend their valuable time calling customer service, arguing about warranty terms, or driving around town to return a faulty machine? I've even heard stories from frustrated customers who've struggled to get Ninja to honor their warranty. My advice? If you really want the Swirl model, wait for the second or third production run. But hey, let's take a moment to highlight some positives, Rick. At least the soft serve function is a new update to the Swirl, right? Well, yes and no, which leads us to reason 3, this machine gots to go. Besides the Swirl attachment of the machine, which we will cover later, one of the core selling points is the soft serve setting. At first glance, this sounds amazing. Who doesn't love soft serve ice cream, right? Even if you're not making cones, many people prefer that light, airy texture. And yes, the soft serve setting is new, if you aren't an avid creamer. However, if you've been creaming with Ninja for a while, you already know the trick. All you need to do is respin any pint that's already at ice cream scoop consistency, and in just 90 seconds, you've got yourself perfect soft serve ice cream. No special setting required. So while this new soft serve button might save you a few seconds, it's not exactly groundbreaking. It's more of a convenience than an innovation. Okay, Rick, but what about the brand new Creami Fit setting? Surely this is a game changer. It was designed specifically for high-protein, low-sugar recipes, promising perfectly creamy results. Well, let's test it out. To start, the ice cream takes a whopping 6 minutes to process. Here's what you end up with: ice cream that's overly whipped, already starting to melt, and filled with air, making it taste less sweet. It tastes more like cold unsweetened whipped cream than actual ice cream.
It literally feels like I'm eating air. No.
Honestly, I've been making delicious, creamy, high-protein recipes for years using the ice cream, light ice cream, or sorbet settings. They've always turned out perfectly, so why would I ever need this new creamy fit mode?
Oh, and there goes all the melted. Thank you, Creamy Fit setting.
I mean, after 4 years of waiting for an upgrade, you'd expect something genuinely innovative. Something that truly sets this machine apart from previous Creami models. Instead, we're left with questionable updates that don't really add much value. Now, to be fair, we can't talk about upgrades without mentioning the swirl function. I have to admit, this feature works beautifully. Kids love being able to pull that lever and watch their cones magically fill up with ice cream. It's quick, fun, and easy to clean. Just a quick soapy rinse of the pint and top attachment, and you're ready to cream again. And I'm not gonna lie, sprinkled cones go hard. But here's the big question. How often are you really going to use this swirl function? I personally prefer grabbing that same cone and just scooping ice cream straight into it. No fuss, no extra steps, and as easy as it gets.
It's beautiful.
And I'm all about making life easier, which is why I have to thank Factor, today's video sponsor, for doing exactly that. With all the creams I'm testing, letting Factor handle some meals has been a lifesaver. They deliver fresh, never frozen meals straight to my door. When I'm short on time, I just grab a meal, heat it for 2 minutes, and eat like a king. These meals are helping me lose 2 pounds per week and maintain muscle while cutting for summer. Every meal I pick has over 40 grams of protein and around 500 calories, making it ridiculously easy to stay in a calorie deficit. They fuel my workouts, and I could literally see the shreds coming in with each passing day. Are they any good though? Yes. This green chili chicken with pepper jack queso is a total flavor explosion with the juiciest chicken, which I seriously never expected from a meal prep service.
Chicken, queso, habanos, how can you go wrong? Oh my god.
If you want to try it out, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50E4CM to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50E4CM at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Now, if you really want that beautiful swirl texture at home, you don't actually need the swirl hogging your entire kitchen counter. All that's necessary is a plastic gallon bag, a 1/2-inch pastry tip, and the respin function mentioned earlier to create a soft serve consistency. Let's be honest though, is it as easy as pulling a lever on a fancy soft serve machine? Definitely not. But does it get the job done? Absolutely.
Look at that! We did it ourselves, baby.
Have you ever owned something that you absolutely love, but just wished it had 1 or 2 small improvements to make it perfect? I've made hundreds of pints of my Creami, and while I genuinely love the ice cream it produces, I've always had one major gripe: the mix-in setting. If you've ever tried adding soft or semi-soft mix-ins, like graham crackers, Oreos, or Nilla wafers, you know exactly what I mean. The machine doesn't gently fold these into the ice cream. It obliterates them into tiny crumbs, essentially erasing their taste and texture. I prayed to the cream gods that the Creami Deluxe would finally fix this problem. Maybe a slower mix-in speed or a gentler spin every 1/4 inch. Something. Anything. Just so that I didn't have to attempt 25 Oreo McFlurries to get the Oreos to mix in properly before landing on my perfect recipe. But nope. The Deluxe didn't deliver, so I didn't upgrade.
This is bullshit.
Fast forward to the Swirl announcement with its hefty $350 price tag. Surely, at that price, we'd finally get at least 2 different mix-in settings, right? Yeah, right, bitch. But seriously, imagine a setting for soft mix-ins and another for crunchy ones. This alone would justify the upgrade, especially since I add mix-ins to nearly every pint I pipe. Fine. But surely they at least upgraded the lid design so ice cream doesn't get trapped inside, grow mold, and end up smelling like Fremunda cheese, right? Of course not. Instead, they just darken the lid's underside. So now you won't even notice the moldy ice cream until your kitchen starts smelling like the LA Fitness sauna. But don't worry, there are ways to keep your creamy lid clean and mold-free. If you're tired of dealing with that funky smell, I've got you covered in my video, 8 Things I Wish I Knew Before Buying a Creami. Before you jump over there though, stick around, because we haven't even gotten to the biggest reason I'm selling my swirl yet. Do you own one of these shitty side-by-side fridge-freezer combos? If you do, then you already know the struggle. There's never enough room in the freezer for anything. For instance, if you're like me, you're constantly battling to fit your Creami pints in there. And now, with the new Creami Swirl, Ninja decided to change the pint size, meaning your original Creami pints won't even fit the new swirl machine. But that's a whole different rant for a different video. The new swirl pints are about 5.5 inches tall, roughly an inch taller than the original ones. Now, 1 inch might sound insignificant, but in freezer terms, it's massive. It's literally the difference between neatly stacking 2 pints on top of each other or squeezing in just one. In other words, your precious ice cream real estate just got cut in half. Now, I get it. This might not seem like a deal breaker, but if you're a virgin creamer trying to decide between the regular, deluxe, or swirl model, the next point is going to make or break your decision. When the Creami first launched, it hit shelves at an already steep $230, and honestly, that price tag alone kept me, and a lot of others, from pulling the trigger. But eventually, warehouse clubs like Sam's and Costco stepped in, dropping not just the price, but throwing in extra pints too. Then, 3 years ago, Prime Day rolled around, and I nearly creamed myself when Amazon knocked off $100. It was purchased instantly. So when Ninja announced the Creami Swirl at a whopping $350, my jaw hit the floor. At that price, it better scoop my ice cream and give me a back massage while creaming. Now keep in mind, I've had my original Creami for 3 years, made nearly 600 pints of ice cream, and it's still running perfectly. Never one single issue. If the original Creami was still priced at $230, maybe, just maybe, the swirl's price would make sense. But right now, you could snag one on Amazon for $199. Even better, Sam's Club currently has it for $160 with 3 pints included. And I've spotted it as low as $99 at Costco during sales. Think about that. For the price of 1 Creami Swirl, you can buy up to 3 original Creamies, give 2 to friends or family as a gift, and still have cash left over for all the essential ingredients you need to make delicious low-calorie ice cream at home. Speaking of ingredients, you need about $60 to stock up on everything required, something I cover in depth in this video here, along with 7 critical things I wish I'd known before buying my first Creami. You should definitely check it out. It's time to run a few final tests and get this swirl listed on Facebook Marketplace. Until next time, deuces.